So I briefly mentioned this part of Robert's career on episode 18 of the post-Zeppelin 1990 series. Thing is, I couldn't sleep thinking I needed to do a deep dive on this time period. While this is not episode 20 of the 1990 series, we can think of it as an encore. Robert Plant's last tours of 1999 and the year 2000 with the Priory of Brion are a fascinating stepping stone for the second part of his career. With a setlist of mostly 60s cover songs, he Honeydrippered himself back to the spirit of 1981, putting together a band of musicians as a much-needed therapy away from the Zeppelin dimensions. While 1999 had Robert in a much different place than 1981, the sentiment was similar. He'd left Page & Plant after 207 shows of nostalgia overdose. Yes, he made tons of money. I repeat, tons of money. But the artist within needed to go back to the restless solo quest and celebration of the music, far away from Jimmy Page and stadium-sized vibrations. So where does the Priory of Brion story begin? Well, let's go back to 1967 and the third incarnation of Band of Joy with guitarist Kevin Gammond. This version of the band recorded the famous 1968 demos including Hey Joe. Past their breakup in May 1968, Gammond went on to be a part of British rock band Bronco, whose first two albums feature a second guitarist in the ways of none other than Robbie Blunt. It's all in the family, right? Here's more. Bronco's first album, Country Home, was produced by Paul Samuel Smith, of former Yardbirds fame. Their follow-up, Ace of Sunlight, had featured Bad Company superstar Mick Ralphs on backup vocals. Bronco disbanded by 1973. Kevin Gammond had Band of Joy up and running again with a new lineup. They released two albums, 1978's self-titled record and 1983's 29K. They broke up and everybody went their separate ways. Robert Plant teamed up with Kevin Gammond in late 1997, almost 30 years after the Band of Joy experience. The reason? A charity gig at a country club for about 100 people. The lineup included jazz and progressive rock drummer Andy Edwards, who was born in 1968 by the way. According to his own recollection of events, which you can check on his fantastic YouTube channel, this concert was comprised of cover songs. Robert played additional jam sessions past this live show, only to go back to his last dance of Page & Plant in 1998. The secrecy of this 1997 gig proves Robert's attitude towards his reunion partnership was changing. Besides recording Walking into Clarksville that same year, and the brief Page & Plant Café de Paris gig in December, Robert had a lot of time for introspection. It's no surprise Plant came back to the idea of playing cover songs in 1999, past the Amnesty International concert in December 1998, where he made up his mind. It was game over for Jimmy. I find it quite revealing how Page & Plant handled themselves musically in 1999. Page played it safe, but Robert went for the thrill of chance and small venue adventures. As Andy Edwards explains, Robert came up with the band's name as a play on words of Monty Python's Life of Brian and the Priory of Zion organization. The end result was Robert printing his first flyer for Priory of Brion. The group's name later changed its spelling, moved by his fixation on Love's 1967 album Forever Changes, a repertoire of 1960s cuts made up for this sort of Honeydrippers Part 3 continuation of his early days as a musical gypsy. Where the 1981 Honeydrippers had Led Zeppelin's demise in close proximity, Priory of Brion was different. In essence, this is Robert Plant the music fan, an interesting snapshot of what Robert's career could have been had Jimmy Page not witnessed his Walsall College gig in the West Midlands of 1968. Priory of Brion was comprised of 5 musicians with their respective nicknames: Kevin Gammond, aka Carlisle Egypt on guitar, Paul Timothy, aka Owen Glindower on electric piano, Paul Wetton, aka Eric Bloodaxe or Brian on bass, and Andy Edwards, aka Aleister Crowley on drums. That's not a nice nickname for Andy. Not sure what Plant was thinking here. Their 1999 setlist featured a lot of songs that entertain audiences on their 19-date concert run throughout England. Most of these shows were kept secret as much as they could, with people figuring out who the group was at the actual gig.
Let's go to the bridge.
The band played many cuts from Love's Forever Changes, of course, as well as Tim Hardin's If I Were a Carpenter, which Robert hadn't played since Mexico 1994 for his Fate of Nations tour. Among the list of covers Priory of Brion performed, there's many numbers Zeppelin played on their first couple of tours, such as Baby Please Don't Go by Joe Williams' Washford Blues and Garnet Mim's As Long As I Have You. This one is a landmark live Zeppelin tune for us hardcore fans. To have Robert revisit this one was quite special. A jazz version of Benny King's We're Gonna Groove was also played at these shows, quite a throwback to 1962, Led Zeppelin 1970, and 1982's Coda. Word of mouth grew, and audiences got bigger by the time their 64 concert date agenda began in February 2000. Priory of Brion extended their wings beyond Britain, visiting Italy, Norway, Greece, Ireland, Belgium, France, Denmark, Netherlands, Switzerland, Finland, Luxembourg, and Portugal. The importance of this tour cannot be ignored. From the high-level musicianship of the players to the setlist diversity, it was a much-needed return to shape and form for Robert. These were his first solo concerts in 5 long years, working for the Page & Plant Corporation. Where Jimmy and the Black Crowes dealt with record label and management tensions, Robert Plant celebrated his freedom with a band of Englishmen willing to travel back in time to the 60s. In a way, this was a Band of Joy reunion of Plant and Kevin Gammond, without actually calling it a reunion. This new format had a huge influence on Robert's career for the next 15 years, including 2010's Band of Joy.
Not just any priory, the Priory of Brion. Incontinence is a thing around here, obviously. That check shirt obviously means something else. On guitar, a journeyman, a man who made it through the 60s with John Bonham and myself. A member of the Band of Joy Mark VI, who got out halfway between Carlisle and Exeter because he didn't like us anymore. And now, happy to be back with a tax problem, Mr. Carlisle Egypt. Hear what I say, son. Sing to me, mister. Hear what I say, son. This is a song from a band who was really quite very influential to Kevin and I when we played back in the Band of Joy years ago. It's a band from California called Moby Grape. And this is a song called Lazy Me.
folk circuit. The trousers aren't so tight. The backstage is a bit dull though. Know what I mean? I mean, there's lots of towels.
My friends are trying to turn my nights to day. Strange faces, a new place. Can't keep those ghosts away.
We seem to bring England. Everywhere we go, we take this English thing, this brain thing. Well, I apologise. I hope you've enjoyed our music tonight.
Now let's take a look at 2002's Dreamland. Plan 7's studio album features 4 cover songs from the Priory of Brion days. Bonnie Dobson's Morning Dew, Tim Buckley's Song to the Siren, The Youngbloods' Darkness Darkness, and The Leaves' Hey Joe were all regular setlist numbers. Priory of Brion disbanded in early 2001, around the time where recording sessions for Dreamland began. Their live show testing ground confirmed there was an audience and market for this type of material. With 7 cover songs and 3 originals, Dreamland was built on the Priory of Brion's momentum and chemistry. Strangely enough, none of Priory of Brion's bandmates made it onto Robert Seven's studio album. You'd think he would do a Pictures 11 move of having your touring band record new material, but no. A first time in his career moving in opposite directions to the Mark I, Mark II, and Mark III lineups that shaped defining moments in Robert's career. Such is life, right? Now for a big surprise here, a 2003 limited edition CD release of 2 Priory of Brion's studio recordings was put out by Kevin Gammond's label, Mighty Atom Smasher Records, or MAS. The only way to purchase this was via Kidderminster's college website. The label was made up of student works to give the music industry experience. Robert Plant was credited with a different name, quote Gammon at the time. We put it under the name of Johnny Volcano so that it would become more of a collectible item, and we've had lots of orders from all over the world. But of course news of these tracks eventually got to the Led Zeppelin website, and fans went nuts. It's pretty hard to disguise one of rock and roll's most distinguishable vocals. The 2 songs on the release were a version of Morning Dew and Elmer Gantry's Flames. Thank you very much for watching this episode, and I hope you enjoyed the Priory of Brion's live show, a lost Robert Plant tour that deserves to be revisited. Bye bye.